Welcome to your October 2025 energy update. Hi, everybody. We're going to be going into all 12 signs. As always, here on my channel, I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs because you have all 12 signs in your chart. They are all important, not just the big three. You don't need to know anything about astrology. You just need to see what resonates and leave the rest behind. First, we're going to jump into the overall energy. There is some powerful things going on in October. And then, of course, we will go sign by sign. Stay tuned to the very end so that you can get the bonus messages and actions to take right now. At the time I'm recording this video, it is September 24th. And for those of you who join me live here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central, thank you. And you may see that I am on early today. It was a little bit of a surprise, but I wanted to be able to join my sister for her birthday lunch today. So I thought, well, I'm going to go on a little early because I definitely want to share some of the downloads I've been getting through my spiritual team, my guides, about what is coming in for us in October. It's going to be a very exciting, transformational month for all of us as a collective, but you're here paying attention and watching this video, and it found you because you have a special mission here. You are a light worker. You don't have to call yourself that. You don't even have to really know what that means, but you were called here for a reason. So thank you for joining me here, and let me know where you're tuning in from the comments. I love seeing how we connect from all over the world. And I know a lot of you are used to joining me with here a little later. So if you're missing out on that, I miss you too. And I will definitely be back. But let's jump into some of the guidance I'm getting around October. First of all, we have just finished up a very powerful eclipse season. This is the 24th of September that I'm recording this, but we just had our final eclipse of 2025 this past Sunday on the 21st. I personally still am feeling that. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. It feels a little bit like a hangover. I'm going to be honest. It's an energetic hangover of, wow, this transformation is affecting everybody on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. Spiritual is the ultimate level that we're all being affected. And right now, it's feeling a little crunchy, especially physically. One of the big messages I was getting last week, if you missed my September update, definitely check that out. We were being asked to really listen to our body, really go into our body and into our heart chakra a lot more than we're used to doing through this energy. And that means also getting out of our mind. So we're going to have to make sure we're being very careful not to let the news headlines and a lot of the mantras out there affect our energy. The number one thing you can do right now to help everybody around the world is to work on raising your inner vibration. And I know you're aware of that, and I'm here to support you in that. We all support each other in this way. And it is so important that you're taking that extra time every day to nurture your physical body, nurture your energetic system. For those of you who are not familiar with cord cutting and shielding, I really encourage you to look into that. That's something I teach in some of my courses, and it's really important that we are all doing this on a daily basis. I personally really like at the end of my day to make it part of the ritual during my shower. I actually visualize the water coming down on me as part of my cord cutting and energy cleansing there, rinsing it through. But you can do it however you want. Just please make sure you're taking time for that. Taking extra time to be outdoors, if possible, can be really beneficial with this energy. And, you know, there's some really big news going on in the sky. So hello, everybody there in the chat. Thanks for being here. There is some really exciting stuff. So I did put a little fun teaser on the thumbnail. You might have seen cosmic visitors. If you've been paying attention, we have been seeing a lot of things going up on in the sky that are new. If you missed the live I did with Chris Reck from Minnow Pond Tarot 2 weeks ago, please check it out. If you were there, thank you. And remember, we were talking about the next 3 months. And one of the things I told Chris is how I get literal giggles and excitement, and I can't even tell you the joy that I feel when I connect with the energy of some of these things going on in the sky. In particular, we have 3i Atlas, but also they've discovered several new comets that are appearing, which isn't totally abnormal at this time of year for us to have some things going on in the sky, but these are abnormal in the way that they're coming and the timing of it all. 3i Atlas in particular is playing a very big role. And in October, that's why I'm bringing this up, there's going to be some really cool things to study. On October 3rd, 3i Atlas will be getting very close to the planet Mars, and apparently we're going to have an opportunity to take some measurements of this interstellar object that is so unique that we wouldn't normally be able to because it's flying so close to Mars, and that is just around the corner, you guys. In fact, next Wednesday will be the 1st of October. I'll be, of course, here sharing some information with you, but I want you to be aware of how quickly we are going to start seeing these things transform. And by the time we get to the end of October, even more things will have intersected or interacted with this interstellar object, 3i Atlas, which is the third interstellar object we've had since, I believe, was Oumuamua the first one. If you're listening in the comments and you know, I think that was 2016 or 2018. I've had so many numbers flying around in my head because I know that I believe it's October 21st that there's a superior conjunction between the sun and 3i Atlas. And then on the 31st is when apparently there's such an alignment that it's going to be hard for us to see 3i Atlas using our instruments. Now, there's other astrologers and other people out there talking about different ways we can measure this. So I encourage you, if this is something that piques your interest, go listen. I will definitely say avoid anything that is fear-mongering, anything that you're seeing on there that is scary. I've seen so many AI-generated reports on 3i Atlas that are just, the energy is so low. As soon as it starts playing, sometimes it'll just autoplay on my YouTube channel. As soon as it starts playing, I feel the energy, I cut it off. So remember to listen to your body when you're listening to reports on these different things that are going on in the sky. The other thing I would like to encourage you to do, and I have to take this advice myself because I'm actually a morning person. I love being in bed early at night, but I really am trying to get out under the stars a lot more, or at least intentionally connecting with the sky during my meditation. So if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, it doesn't mean you need to go outside, but maybe you're awakening for a reason and there's an opportunity to connect with your spiritual team to a lot of these things that are happening in the sky and get your own downloads. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. Now, I did talk about some big things we needed to know for September. One of them was that please carry your journal everywhere you go, starting right now, because you're getting so many downloads. And I said this in my original September report and my bonus, if you want to check those out, because hindsight's a very powerful tool. We are going to be getting so many messages that may not even entirely make sense, but in October, things are going to start to make sense. And so you want to be able to give yourself credit for the intuitive hits you were getting by writing them down, tracking them, because our brain will be so quick to jump in and say, oh, you didn't really think that. You saw that on a movie. You didn't really dream that. That was a memory from something else. So here's the thing we want to do. We want to give ourselves credit for the information we're getting. Another big thing Chris Reck and I both agreed upon is that telepathy is going to begin going off the chart with things that are happening where you're getting a phone call and before you even look at your phone to see who it is, you already know who it is and you already know what they're calling about. Start paying attention to those things. That needs to go in your journal as well. Now, there is this level of, okay, where are the energetic boundaries around that? And one of the things that I'm encouraging you to do is start practicing these cord cutting and shielding techniques as well as your telepathy now, because there's going to be a point in time when so many people are using telepathy that it's going to become kind of like When was there a time where it wasn't so available? And do you have the privacy you once had? Now, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because I want you to be aware of your energy, and you can shield and protect your energy from other people. If people are poking at you, you need to learn what that is. And I want to give you an example. Have you ever had a situation where you felt like you kind of had a conversation with somebody, and when you got off the phone, you had kind of a pain in your neck, and then it went away, and the next time you have a conversation with that person, it came back again. It kind of causing you a pain in the neck. Well, these are things that we want to be paying attention to. What is the interaction with that person's energy? And are you shielding yourself? Are you protecting yourself from that? It's not pointing fingers, but maybe there is a boundary that is being crossed there energetically. This can come from people overthinking and like pushing you, right? So have you ever had that feeling like somebody is they're not even talking to you, but you can energetically feel them complaining that you're not calling them enough, or you're not giving them enough attention, or you're not doing things the way they want. You can feel it in your body. And that's where cord cutting and shielding is going to be so important. So again, I went off on that little tangent there because you're going to see this with everybody around you who's not paying attention, people who are not checking in with their energy body and how they're physically feeling. You're going to feel that too. So I'm here to support you in putting yourself first, because ultimately it's the old saying that none of us really love. You got to put your own oxygen mask on first if you're going to be around to help the others, right? So you do have to take the time to put yourself first. That is not a selfish thing to do. That is actually the loving thing to do. Once your cup runneth over with abundant, loving, positive energy, then it's easy for others to take advantage of the support you're giving them. But if you are feeling drained, it just doesn't support the collective, right? So it is okay to take those breaks. One of the things that came up in the September messages is carrying through in October is if you can take some time alone. It can be at home if that's what's offered to you, but you're turning everything off and you're basically having a sabbatical without electronics, without constant interference from others, from news headlines and whatever, and you're really taking some time to go within. A lot of you are being asked to learn new things or take something you're already learning about to a new level. So maybe you're taking an online class, maybe you're wrapping up an online class and you're starting to implement that knowledge. I personally am always looking for different things that I can add to my knowledge as an astrologer, to my knowledge as an intuitive and a spiritual teacher. I will listen to the things that are being put in front of me. And if it's something that excites me, that really catches my interest, I will do it because I know it's being put in front of me for a reason. So I'm encouraging you to do that as well and start making plans for 2026 regarding that. I want you to start asking yourself right now, what do I want to learn in 2026? If money, time, distance, whatever is not an object, what would I put my attention on in 2026? And here's the key message about all this. We want to focus on the things that are high vibration, that are positive, that are loving, that are nurturing. I know there are so many things going on out there in the news headlines. There's so much it seems very divisive, but the thing is it's being shown to us so we can understand the polarization and understand the way it's working. And you're here because you have an ability to go higher than that polarization, than that wrong or right. There's only two ways to look at this type of a conversation that we're seeing out there. And a lot of the aggression you're seeing out in the world is because we are evolving out of that type of energy, and there's people who just don't know how to handle the energy, so they're wanting to hang on to the polarization, and that's not where we're headed as a collective. Pluto in Aquarius is about coming together as a collective, raising the vibration. So there's no room, there's no place, there's no availability in the future for this divisiveness and this polarization. But you hear people talk about sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. I'm not predicting that per se, but I am getting that if it feels that way, then what you want to focus on is the outcome that we're headed towards. What is that ideal future you're looking for? And what does a peaceful existence feel like? So the other piece of homework that I'm getting here for all of us as a collective, and then we will jump into all 12 signs, is that we want to write down, daydream, really start visualizing what does an ideal peaceful existence feel and look like to you. Who's around you? What are you doing? These are the places we want to be. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's not reality. I still have to go to work. I still have to get gas in my car and deal with expensive groceries. Yes, these are things we are doing, but we want to be aware of where our thoughts get in the way of putting us in that outcome. So that's why I'm asking you right now, what is something new you want to learn in 2026? Where is somewhere you might want to travel? How much time do you think you could take for yourself in 2026? These are all questions that are worthy of asking right now. The other thing that Chris Reck and I both agree upon is that there's still a tendency, kind of because cultural bias and all that, for us to think, well, I'll wait to take that vacation when this happens, or I'll finally be happy when this, thing changes for me, instead of looking for ways to enjoy the moment now. So we were both talking a lot about bringing more joy and fun and playfulness into your life right now. I think that's going to be really, really important. For me personally, I get a lot of joy out of studying the sky and these objects flying around and listening to different scientists talk about it, and really listening to the differences. And when you've got somebody who's very, very scientific and they just want to focus on the math and what they can actually prove with telescopes, versus somebody who's more spiritual and they're getting their own downloads about what they're seeing in the sky. For me, this all feels very natural. I've always had a lot of experiences in dream time with what felt like other dimensions and other beings. And, when I've done my own lineage and my own astral travel, I know that I have a very deep connection with other cosmic beings, and as you do as well, by the way. So that might be news to you, but there's a reason you're here. And we're all here as a collective to experience this. So get excited. Follow your excitement with that, because it's really going to be fun. And I think we're going to all be here together, just looking at this together in a way that's like, wow, this is really happening. The other thing I did want to bring up too is just that, remember, just like when you connect with your angels or your spiritual team, it's going to be subtle. Like, I taught my angel communication class last February again, and I always encourage my students to embrace the subtlety of connection, and that our angels don't want to scare us. They don't want to startle us. That would just knock us out of energy. Well, I want you to think of it from that way as well with cosmic beings that are loving and wanting to connect with us. They're not going to startle us. Anything that is scary, anything that startles you, anything that seems dangerous or threatening to you or the world, I want you to cut cords with that, shield against it, say absolutely not. I do not allow that in my energy field. That's why I was saying with a lot of those AI videos you're seeing out there, they're very fear-mongering. Even just the thumbnails. Like, if they come on and then they don't really say anything scary, but the energy is low because the thumbnail is scary. So I want you to be very aware of that. Go higher. Remember to check in with your own higher self, your own spiritual team, about how does this feel. You have the ability. You have natural born intuitive abilities to get your own downloads about this. And I love having discussions with skeptics. So if you're skeptical about what all of this means, by all means, chime in as well, because I think that's really, really healthy. I think we're all meant to be skeptical. And I've seen a lot of people out there trying to claim what these different things are. And the truth is, probably none of us are right. Maybe some of us are a little closer than others, but why don't we just go through this together and see what it is and stay open-hearted and open-minded to what these exciting things are that are happening in the sky. So yes, it's a fun time to be connecting. Just be very careful about what you're allowing into your energy field. That doesn't mean go shut yourself in a dark room and don't connect. It just means that if something feels off, trust that that's probably your higher self or your spiritual team saying, hey, this isn't for us. We're not going to go there, right? And you do have that ability. You are way more powerful than you are giving yourself credit for. So we all have to learn to really embrace how powerful we are. And I do believe a lot of what we're going to be seeing now through the next, really through 2030, is an awakening to how powerful we really are and how we've been holding ourselves back because of societal conditioning and things from the past. And now we're rising out of that. All right. So I really am excited about October. I think it's going to bring in some eye-opening things. Keep your eyes on the sky. One person that I'm following a lot, I really like, is Stefan Forrest. If you haven't seen any of his videos, he takes a very scientific approach to a lot of this, but he explains it really well and he shows you on maps, and that stuff is just fascinating to me. Or go out and do your own research. Go on the websites that show what's going on in the sky. And see what you feel, see what comes in through your body. And then remember, you can journal about it, and you can ask your spiritual team to come to you through dreams. I will do that a lot. And before I go to bed, I'll say, help me learn something in my dream that I need to know right now, or help me advance my skills, or show me something that will, broaden my experience. And often I won't even really remember what I dreamt about the next morning, but then a day or two later, it'll download. It'll be like, oh, I remember that dream that I had where I was in Australia and I was on a train and I was looking at the countryside, and all these dots get connected, right? So, all right, I think that's kind of the overall thing I wanted to start off with October, is just please keep your eyes on the sky, keep your eyes on what's going on, and stay in that vibrational place. We want to keep the news headlines off. We do not want to listen to this divisiveness and these things that are going on that are fear-mongering or taking you out of that energetic space where you feel safe and loved. All right. How's everybody doing here in the comments? We're going to jump into the all 12 signs here. I see Hubert here. Hello, Mary. Good to see you. Yes, jumping on early. Love and light to you. April, hello. Good to see you here. Hello, Wesley. Good to see you. Thank you guys for jumping in early. I know I'm early today, but it's so great to see all of you here. Hello, AC. Good to see you. Yes, so much going on. Okay, we are going to jump into these all 12 signs here. And I will, as always, be doing updates for all these things, but remember that energy takes a little time to merge and to show up. So a lot of people told me they didn't really feel anything after the eclipse on Sunday or the previous eclipse. And that's because it's normally just a very subtle shift, and it takes that hindsight. Like I look back on the eclipse season from March and April earlier this year, and there were definitely some sudden changes, but the ultimate result of what those changes brought I wasn't able to see, right? Because it's a slow, subtle thing. Now I can see it. Now it's that powerful gift of hindsight. And a quick reminder, if you haven't already, start thinking about writing down your accomplishments for 2025 now. That will help you with planning 2026. All right, let's jump into Aries here. Okay, I got the Aries up. Aries for October, jumping in, starting now. We've got the Hermit card. You're like, the Hermit card? I'm ready to get out and do some things. But it says spending quiet time in meditation. We're going to pull this in here. But a lot of the messages you've been getting this year, Aries, is you are used to charging off and doing things on your own, but you do need to bring your team with you. You do need to allow others to be in a supportive role to you, but you may also need that mental, physical, and emotional break from it as well. So October is going to be your month for that. Now, we all got that guidance about definitely taking some time alone in October to take a break, withdraw from all the high energy. I would even recommend maybe doing it around the 21st, because October 21st is when they're saying 3i Atlas will have the superior conjunction with the sun. So really all of October, but that might be a really interesting time because we'll be about to move into Scorpio season. I don't have my calendar, but it's either the 21st or 22nd, somewhere around there, that the sun moves into Scorpio season, right? So, by the way, happy birthday, Libras. I hope you're kicking off your season amazingly. And to the Scorpios, happy birthday to you when we get to your season. I hope you're planning something fun. But yes, Aries, I want to see you doing what you can to protect your energy. The second card I'm getting for Aries is the Two of Earth card, balance, prioritization, and playfulness. Yep. So you're being asked to really balance your energies as well. So maybe you're needing to spend this quiet time alone to see where you're not putting enough time into your playfulness or into the joy that you want to see in your life. You're working too hard. You're too focused on your goals. Now, I do often, when I see this Two of Earth card, especially because of the picture here, hear the message, get off the fence, make a choice, right? But actually, this child in this picture is having fun balancing the energies and finding a way to be playful, right? So while you are taking this quiet time alone in meditation, also finding that time to do something you really enjoy. And then the third card I'm getting for Aries is the release and surrender. So this month is all about surrendering right now. Aries, now we are in Libra, which is your opposite sign. So I feel like one of the things you might need to do is really learn and understand the energies of Libra, your opposing sign, because Libra is all about balance, right? They're the only sign that with the glyph that's an actual physical object, a scale, right? So this is literally showing bringing balance to your energies, right? Money is energy, time is energy, anything, right? Bringing balance to that. I feel like when you spend this quiet time alone, you're going to have this aha moment, this epiphany of how, oh, I have been putting too much time and energy into this, and now this part of my life is out of balance, or I'm about to be out of balance. It feels like you're going to have to just surrender to the timing of things too. That's the other thing I'm getting, Aries, is I think you're going to realize that you thought things were going to be happening sooner than they're really going to happen. So surrender to the flow of that. In fact, one of my favorite reminders for all of us with this eclipse season and through the end of the year is we cannot push things. We have to allow them, and we have to allow them to unfold in the way they're meant to. If you heard my video last week, I was talking about sometimes I get intuitive hits and I'm like, oh man, I know I saw that, but I don't really want to have to deal with that. Like I know it's guidance for me that it would be in my highest interest to listen to, but I don't really want to have to deal with it because it means stopping what I'm doing, taking the longer way, making things take longer, but it's happening for you. So we really want to remember that release and surrender card, Aries, is what you want to do. So if you have a keyword for October, Aries, it's going to be surrender. All right. And that means surrender for your highest good, right? We're not laying down. I know, Aries, you're like, what? I'm going to fight until we win. It's surrendering to the timing. Okay. All right. I love that for Aries. Hello, Sparkle and Grit. Good to see you here. Glad you joined. All right. So Tauruses. Taurus, the first card we're getting for you here is the Page of Air card, okay? It says logical, honest, impulsive, curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact, okay? I know it always feels like, oh, do we have to really get this card? But Tauruses, this is also like what the Aries are getting. It's about surrendering to the flow. What I'm getting for this information, what I'm getting for this card is things are starting to move forward again for Tauruses, but it's still slower than you want it to be. There's some delays. We do have, I think, almost all of November with a Mercury retrograde. So we're going to start to feel that in October when Mercury goes into shadow, which means it's going to, where it hits the degree that it will retrograde. And so I want to see you guys remember the same thing that Aries is, that we can't push. We have to allow, okay? Let's see what your next card is. I'll try to come up with a keyword for everybody. What did I say for Aries? Aries was surrender. For Taurus, Three of Fire. Love this card. Look at this. Goals, expansion, vision. This is a card of teamwork, right? What's that saying? Teamwork makes dream work or something like that. I always hear everybody say that. But look, that's the thing. There's a delay because there's more people coming on board that are going to really help you move forward. They're all getting in alignment too. They all went through this eclipse energy too. They're all looking up at the sky at 3i Atlas too, right? So allow things to happen in divine timing. And when you get information like, sorry, we're gonna have to push that start date a week, or sorry, this person can't do it anymore, you need to find someone else, try to check in with where you feel that in your body. And let's say it makes you scrunch your shoulders and feel tense, or let's say it makes your stomach flip. Immediately address that and be compassionate with your body. I want you to say to yourself, that's okay, shoulders. Like, let's take some deep breaths and relax. Maybe you can do a stretch. If you feel it in your stomach, say, that's okay, tummy, that makes us a little nervous. We're going to take a little break here. Maybe go make some tea. Just take some deep breaths, right? I want you to really nurture yourself, Tauruses. And then the final card I'm getting for all of you is Cupid. Ooh, see? Yeah. Major love coming in for you, improvements in your relationships all around, but I'm getting love for a project specifically. Now, some of you, this could be an actual romantic partner coming in. For a lot of Tauruses, though, this is love for a project and love for your pathway, and it's worth the wait. It's worth the delays. It's worth the slower pace. You know, and so Taurus, do what you do best. Steady as she goes. Like, you guys, I've never been able to rush a Taurus ever. I've got a lot of Tauruses in my family. Tauruses only rush when they want to rush, right? So do what you do best with that. And your keyword for October is allow. Allow the energy to go with the pace it's meant to, right? We have Aries surrendering, we have Taurus allowing, right? Your neighboring signs there, all right? So buddy up, help each other out. This is a fiery energy like Aries, so maybe there is an Aries that could support you with this, but just take your time, steady as she goes, steady and slow wins the race, right? So that's going to be what's best for you in October, Taurus. And a quick reminder, I do have my Know Your Signs video linked below, so that if you want to understand why I tell you to, wait a minute, why is this not turning off? I'm trying to turn off Taurus here. There we go. If you want to know why I say listen to all 12 signs, I explain it in detail in the link below. It's totally free. Comes with a free downloadable PDF where you can actually go get your birth chart for free and fill out this worksheet, and it shows you what signs are affecting you in your chart where, and it kind of gives you that understanding when some astrologer has said to you, your big three are your sun, moon, and rising, so you don't have any planets in, let's say, Aquarius. Well, but whenever I listen to Aquarius, I get messages. Well, go look and see what house Aquarius occupies in your birth chart, because we have all 12. And then a lot of times you'll get those big aha moments. So check that out. Linked below there. All right. Moving on to the Geminis. Okay. Geminis. Okay. Gemini, sorry about that. I had a little hiccup with the computer. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing this video. I really appreciate it. It really helps my channel grow. And it's great to connect with all of you here. Geminis, what are we getting for you for October? First, we are getting the World card. See, I've been getting so much about you guys getting out there in these bigger ways with your communities, with people you surround yourself for, and you're really, really starting to shine in the world, Geminis. We are needing you more than ever. So I really encourage you to keep going with the things you've been doing with your community, with something you're teaching, with something you're sharing. This could be privately too. It could be a role you're taking on within your family or within a small work environment. So just because it says the world doesn't mean you necessarily have to be out there on the wider world stage, but there are things that you're going to finally see recognition for and completion. I feel like a lot of you are wrapping up some things because you're entering a new phase. And so I want you to give yourself credit for how far you've come, because it takes a lot to get to this card. Okay, guys? And I'm going to try to remember to do a key word for everybody too. Next, we have the Strength card: courage, compassion, perseverance. What did I just say? Perseverance. Keep going, Geminis. You've been working so hard. You've been really pushing yourself to get out there in a big way. You've been working to end some kind of phase in your life. Keep going. This is moving for you. This is happening for you. Keep drawing on that inner strength. And also remember to use a lot of your natural qualities, right? Like Geminis are charismatic. You're fun to be around. You're smart and witty. You can see both sides of things. And a lot of times people really want your opinion on things. So keep going and using all these natural born qualities you have. Or if you haven't allowed yourself to use those before, start using them in a bigger way, because it's time for you to be recognized, right? It's time for you to be recognized for your writing skills, for your creativity, for your energy healing, all these things that you're able to bring through. It's funny, I've got a little green lizard peeking in at me through the window. It's like looking like it's watching the show. All right. And then your third card here, Geminis, is the ocean. The ocean. Yes. I do think that it's going to really benefit Geminis in October to spend time by water. If you not where you can get by the ocean or a lake or any kind of body of water, maybe you can invest in like a small little desktop waterfall or, water fountain, or maybe you can do some extra salt baths at home. But even like I said at the beginning of this video, if you're joining me late, I think we could all benefit from daily cord cutting. And I do that at the end of the day with my shower. I really like to visualize the water kind of rinsing the energy. Of course, I am a Cancer sun sign here. So, of course, I'm going to love the water or the ocean. But Geminis, I know sometimes you can get caught in thinking about both sides and have a hard time making a decision, right? So do that. Get in some water. If you feel really stuck or you feel like you're having a hard time slowing your mind down, maybe taking a bath or taking a shower could really benefit you. I mean, it could be as simple as just putting your hands under some water and just doing a 1-minute meditation. I'll do that sometimes. I'll just notice the temperature of the water, notice how it feels on my hands. This can be something you can do in such a short period of time, and it can help you just get out of your head and get into your body more. So let's see, Gemini, what's a key word? I almost forgot to, yeah, here we go. Your key word, Gemini, is perseverance. Perseverance. That's what it is, because you've come so far, Geminis. I can't wait to see where you keep going. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. Moving on to the Cancers. Hello, fellow Cancers. What do we get for you guys for October? We've got the ego card here. Look at that. It says a false sense of entrapment, overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. Yeah, so we're going to have to really watch our thoughts in the month of October, Cancers. And of course, that goes for everybody, but there's a lot going on. There's so much going on. You've got Jupiter in your sign, and I know a lot of the popular astrology out there is like Jupiter's the planet of good luck. It can be, but it also is the planet of expanding things and making things bigger. So that saying, what you focus on expands, is what you really need to think about. And everybody needs to think about with Jupiter and Cancer, especially with it being in water. Water can really be vast and expand quite a bit, right? So what you need to be thinking about is, okay, what I focus on expands. Do I want to focus on the negative, or do I want to focus on the positive? So we're all looking for the positive in situations. If you're feeling trapped in a situation, try to find the silver lining. Try to make it change the narrative, change the story around that. Like I think about where maybe somebody doesn't love their job, and they know one day they want to move out of it, but they're not quite ready to. Maybe what you're doing is you're listing all the things that your job is providing for you right now, and then going and doing things after work to really enjoy those things and being grateful that you can do those things, right? And then you're starting to plant those little seeds about how you can move out of there. So what you focus on expands is really what I want you to think about with Jupiter in your sign. The second card I have for you is 8 of Earth. See, hard work, diligence, taking your skills to a new level. Cancers, I would like to see you use Jupiter to expand your knowledge around something. And this goes for all of you, right? We all have Cancer in our chart. You can look to see where that is if you want to check out my Know Your Signs video below, but definitely learning and taking your skills to a new level, getting educated, and really focusing on the details around things is going to help you as well. So for some of you, this is also you teaching others. So keep that in mind as well. Maybe you're finally getting out in a big way and teaching others the knowledge that you have built up. And instead of thinking to yourself, well, you know, I'm not as experienced as the next person, so I can't teach that. That's ego, right? Instead, you're going to focus on what you do know and you're going to teach it now. And then the final card I'm getting for Cancers is ask. Ask. Yes, remember to ask for help, right? I teach everybody this, all 12 signs. You have to remember to ask because of the law of free will. We want to ask for what we want. Ask for loud and clear signs. Ask for support. If you are feeling trapped, ask for synchronicities and signs and symbols to get out. Ask for help with that. I'll give you a really mundane example that I'll do. I will look at my calendar a week or two ahead. Every Sunday I sit down and I look at my whole week, right? But I stay a few weeks ahead. And if I see that there's a really busy, few days coming up or week coming up, I'll just ask my team, can you please help provide support with getting all these things done? And that might come in the frame of somebody offering to give my kid a ride somewhere because I have to be across town somewhere else for something. That might come in the form of somebody else choosing to cancel a lunch date or a plan, and that frees me up to get something done that I've been putting off, right? So ask, remember to do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and make that your keyword. Cancers for October, your keyword is ask. Ask for help. Ask for guidance. We are not meant to do here alone. We have an entire spiritual team to help us. Every single one of us has guardian angels, passed away loved ones, our higher self, spirit guides, ascended masters willing to help us. Okay, so remember to ask. All right, I love that for the Cancers. All right, moving on. We have lovely Leos. Hello, Leos. How's everybody doing in the comments? I've been forgetting to check in because, yes, the 1 minute meditation. I'm glad you like that, April, because it's so true. Like, it just takes some deep breaths. And, I have a functional medicine doctor I'm working with right now, and he reminds me too. He's like, Devin, I know you meditate because I know you do that as part of your spiritual practice as a spiritual teacher, but I want to know that you're doing it also in unusual times, like when something stresses you out. And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, I think to breathe, or later on, something stressful will happen in a 15, 20 minutes go by. And I'm like, why am I stressed? And I'm like, oh yeah, because of that phone call or because of that email. When it would have been better, like in the moment that I got the email or the phone call that was stressful, to then take the deep breath, right? So that's why it can be so helpful to just take 1 minute. And actually what I'll sometimes do is I'll have a key word I focus on, right? So like I said, for Cancers, yours is ask. And let's see what we're getting for Leos for a keyword. First, we're going to start with your first card here. Okay, we've got 2 of Earth. Too much going on at once, the need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. So the other 2 of Earth card that we got earlier for, was it the Aries? Was a little girl on the fence, was the picture there, needing to get off the fence. I do feel that's the case for Leos here. You are actually needing to find a new way to do something that you're not wanting to do, you're kind of resisting doing. And so that taking a playful approach there, Leos, you're great at playing. You're great at finding a fun way to do something, being funny. You're charismatic. You're so lovable. You're so loving. But remember to incorporate that in something you don't want to do. It's the old whistle while you work, or Mary Poppins, spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Find a playful way to get off the fence and do something that you're holding back doing. Now, for some of you, I feel like this is something to do with your finances, where you may have to tighten the belt a little bit. Like let's just use a really easy one. Let's say your grocery budget has gotten a little out of hand and maybe it's just costing a little too much. What if you could learn some new economical recipes that are a little more creative and a little more fun and get excited about making a meal on a budget instead of looking at it as like, oh, now I can't have my favorite food or I have to cut back. Try to look at it as like, how can I be more resourceful? And that's a playful way to do it. And a lot of times, all you need is inspiration. Go find a YouTube channel or a blog that really inspires you. My daughter is recently got into meal prepping for lunches and stuff where you do a make ahead and then you have several. And she's just like trying all these new fun things and really getting into the creativity of it. And so I'd like to see you guys do that in October. And then your next card I'm getting is the 6 of Air. So, okay, this is great coming off this 2 of Earth. It's going to be a breath of fresh air to go ahead and get off the fence. What's happening here is you're feeling a little stuck because you're not investing in something. You're not going ahead and putting the energy into something. But once you do that, you're going to be like, oh, why did I wait so long to do this? So it could be like, go ahead and sign up for that yoga studio or class, or go ahead and invest, 30 minutes a day in something you want to learn and grow for your business. Then you're going to feel like, oh, wow, I didn't know I was going to feel better this quickly. Okay. So that's cool. I like that so much is coming in for you, Leos, all at once. And then your final card is life purpose. Yep. This is leading you to your life purpose. And so you've got to kind of get off the fence. Whatever this is, it involves your life purpose. There's something you're meant to do. And like I said, it's almost like if you've ever suddenly lost a job, but then been surprised that you were a little relieved. I've had things happen. I'm trying to remember what the most recent was. I was talking to somebody about it the other day, but something got canceled. Something happened. And I was like, why do I feel relieved by that? I was like, I was really excited about this. And so at first my stomach was like, oh. And then the more that the day went on, I was like, oh, that's kind of a relief. And then I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was feeling stressed out about that. So I want you to ask yourself, is there anything that you're feeling stressed out about that maybe it would be easier? And it's almost like it's on you to make it go away, if that makes sense too. I think sometimes we keep waiting for other people to make the decision, and Leos, you're being asked to do it. Go ahead and move on. And definitely do it in a way that allows you to use your skills that are, we all have many purposes in life, but Leos, you're really being asked to step into this in a bigger way than ever. All right. I love that for Leos. How are we doing here? How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for liking and sharing this video. I really appreciate it. All right. Virgos. Hey, Noelle, you made it. She's like, wow. Talk about telepathy. We've got the Virgo in the house. I know we've got lots of Virgos here. That's awesome, Noelle. I was just talking about telepathy earlier, and then you pop in right at your sign. So I hope you had an amazing birthday season, Virgos. I know these eclipses hit you guys hard, but you're tough, and we look to you for a lot of leadership. So we thank you for what you're learning so you can share it with us and lead us. All right, so did we do oh shoot, Leos, I didn't do your keyword. Let me do that real quick, Virgos, because, yeah. Well, it's almost like they have a key phrase, but Leos, your keyword is decision. You need to make a decision about something. So, and it involves something to do with your resources, right? Time, energy, material resources, okay? So Leo, keyword is decision. All right, Virgos. Sorry, Leo, I had to do that without the eclipse season has been hard. Noelle says, yeah, I had to do Leo's keyword without the icon on. So we'll have to pick that out for you guys later. All right, so Virgos, you've got 3 of Air card coming in for October. Okay. It says great sadness, taking time to heal. The need to forgive yourself and others. And what were we just talking about with eclipse season being so hard It is okay for you to take all the time you need to nurture yourself and heal through this energy. The eclipses were making things change whether we liked it or not. And that's the thing about these energies, is we can get a glimpse of what these energies are going to do, but there's a certain amount we just have to surrender to. And then there's this time that is needed to heal. And as we're now officially in fall, right? We had the fall equinox on Monday. It's important to observe that. And for those of you that are in the Southern Hemisphere, happy spring to you guys. But remembering that fall is a ritual. And for many, many years, there have been ceremonies done around the fall equinox because it is representing that ending, right? That transformation. We see the leaves falling from the tree, and it's both beautiful and sad because it means the end of summer, the end of joy and sun and light and playfulness, moving into fall. So this is really important for all of us to embrace with this, fall energy, but also Virgos needing to take all that time to surrender. The next card you're getting is this Page of Earth card. Love this for you guys. It says studious, prepared, and cheerful. Well, that's what you guys always are. You're always studious. And most Virgos, you guys have to, you really try to show up for others in a big way. And I see you guys cheering other people on all the time. And I see you guys always being there for others. You're always prepared. You're always willing to give the shirt off your back to others. But what you're being reminded to do is it's okay to say no to that in October. Make sure you're putting a lot of boundaries around your energy and taking all the time you need to heal. And it's okay to let others show up for you. Okay. Now we do have that forgiveness for others as well. So the first person that pops into your mind there, just remember, do what you need to do to focus on yourself and cheer yourself up. But allow that forgiveness too, so it doesn't become something that creates a physical issue for you. Now we have the Shower of Abundance card here, which is basically letting you know, Virgos, even though this has been such a tough road, there's been so many changes, there's been so many things that have been shocking and unsettling, it really is bringing in that abundance for you. You really are going to see things shifting. In fact, I'm hearing a year from now, you're going to be looking back on this and going, wow, was I strong? I'm stronger than I ever realized. And you're strong, you're aware of that. But I feel like when you look back on it, that's what's bringing in the abundance. It's going to just bring in all this new opportunity and a really new exciting phase for your, for everything that you've had to go through. This next phase is just going to be full of abundance in all three areas of your life: health and wellness, relationships, and your work, whatever that is. If you're retired, it's your legacy, right? So Virgos, I'm getting for your key word, it's healing. You're healing in the month of October, right? So that's your key word. You're a natural born healer. Turn that energy onto yourself, right? Invest in yourself, Virgos. All righty. Moving on to Libras. Happy birthday season, Libra. Like I said, my sister's birthday is today. She's a Libra sun, Libra rising. Lots of Libra energy there. And so happy birthday season. I hope you guys are celebrating. Let's see what we have for you. We have the 10 of Earth. It says a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life, right? And Libras, you're able to see both sides of things. You're able to approach things. You're able to bring in that love and that luxury, right? Venus rules your sign. Venus is about luxury. Look at this. This is literally a card of luxury, having everything you need, all your needs met, right? So beautiful, beautiful energy coming in for Libras for October. The next card we have is the Ace of Earth. Ace of Earth, abundance, opportunity, and resources. So something new you're starting this month, Libra. What is that? What's something new you're doing? In fact, I feel like this new thing you're doing this month, Libras, is actually going to last the whole year, like until your next solar return, right? So right now, what are some things that your heart is wishing for? They want you to get started. Your spiritual team wants you to get started on it right now, because a year from now, you're going to be so glad you invested in it, right? This is an investment of time, energy, and resources. And then your third card is steady progress. Yep. So you heard me say a year from now, this is going to be something you're doing every day, one step at a time, and you're going to be really grateful you did. Some of you are investing in learning something new, like a new skill. Some of you are starting a new creative project, or you're taking something you're already doing to a new level. Like, let's say, I don't know, you've always been a writer. Now you're going to start doing videos on that same topic. Like, you're going up. You're really taking things to a new level. But remember to bring in that security and that love for all of that. Virgos, I gave you, yeah, okay. For a second, I was like, did I give Virgos a keyword? Now that I started doing that, I want to remember to do it for everybody. Because I was sitting here trying to pull in a keyword for Libras. And honestly, the keyword I'm hearing for you, Libras, is luxury. Luxury. I want you to think of it. So you might think to yourself, well, I don't want expensive things, or that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here about like luxurious things. What I mean by luxury is the luxury to do something your heart wants. Like, I always think about when my kids were little, and I recognize what a luxury it was whenever I got a nap, right? A nap where I didn't have to be interrupted, or I could take a bath without that was a luxury to me, right? It's not something that you're spending money on, but it was a luxury. And I think back about that too with my kids now. They're older, but I'm watching them have the luxury to waste time on things, right? You know, and we should all find ways to do that, but they have the luxury of taking their time with certain things that I always feel like, oh, you know, I only have so much time to do this because I got to get the to-do list done. Well, that's what I want you to think about with this card, especially with it being your birthday season, Libras. Focus on that keyword of luxury, but go ahead and invest now, because you're going to really see a lot of progress coming through for you. So you have to let me know what you're doing, Libras. I'm excited for you. All righty. Moving on to Scorpios. We will be going into your birthday season soon. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing this video. I appreciate it. I can see y'all doing that. Okay. So Scorpios, we're getting ready to go into your birthday season here. What do we have for you? All right, so the first card we have is this Four of Earth card. It says being too frivolous or too cautious, or, making good business decisions. So what I'm getting for you guys here is, I know that you've been working really hard to make some changes, and you just want to make sure you're taking your time with these changes, because what I'm getting here is, kind of what I was getting for Taurus, which that's your opposite sign. So if you missed Taurus, go check it out, because that's what I'm pulling through you guys. Is, again, don't push, right? So I think I had the Taurus keyword was allow. I don't know what yours is yet. We're going to get there, but you want to maybe incorporate allow as well. If you force things, you might find yourself feeling a little trapped, maybe overspending on something, maybe not spending enough in something that would help your job be easier. So I remember when I first started making my YouTube channel, I really didn't want to spend the money on a separate microphone. Just because I was a newbie. I didn't understand how important sound is. And this was not my first microphone, by the way. This is my husband's microphone. But I did invest in not a very expensive one, but it took things to the next level, and it made everything easier with editing. This is back when I used to do a ton of editing on my videos. And it was like, why did I resist getting that better equipment? Same with software, right? I used to do a lot more things manually, and I started investing in software that helps me do it. So I feel like that could be the case for some of you Scorpios, is that you're actually not investing enough in something that you want to see manifest. And this could be maybe you're taking a trip and you're trying to make yourself stay at the cheapest place possible, but when you get there, you're not going to feel safe or comfortable. It's like, why not just pay a little more, reward yourself, and get rid of that fear around, not feeling safe. So this could be whatever it is for you. Let's get some more clarity here. We have, we have the Knight of Earth card, organized, responsible, and supportive. There we go. Yeah, I feel like this Four of Earth card is more about you not investing enough time or energy into something your heart wants. And instead, you're being asked to really embrace your energies. This could be budgeting, really and truly, Scorpios. You might be being asked, where can I take money from this place and put it over here so that down the road, I have the resources I need. I feel organized. I feel supportive. So this is also kind of a saving for a rainy day moment. Do you really need 10 subscription services to watch TV when you only have so many hours a day to watch TV, right? That kind of thing. I'm constantly having to check in with that. Like, what are we spending money on that we're not even using, right? So I want you to think about that too. And that's going to help you avoid this energy of feeling trapped. And then let's see what we're getting for your final card here so that we can get you a keyword, Scorpios. Notice the signs. Yep. You're not going to have to guess what this is, Scorpio. You're going to be guided to the right thing, the right place, the right time, all these things, but just make sure you are noticing. So I want your keyword for October to be notice, Scorpios. Notice. And I know that you guys are really good at focusing. You're really good at getting locked in on something and figuring it out, but please focus and notice the signs. Go check out the Taurus reading that I already did, since it's your opposite sign, and their keyword was allow. All right. So allow things to unfold. Notice the synchronicities, notice the signs, and that's going to help you avoid that feeling of being trapped. And it's going to help you to really be responsible and, plan for the future in a way that allows you to feel responsible and secure. All right. And the Sages. Hello, Sages. What are we getting for you guys for October? 6 of Fire. I've gotten this card for you so many times this year, Sages. It's like, why do I even bother pulling a card? I get this card for you constantly. It says, victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. Yeah, it's time for you to be recognized. It's time for you to be recognized. A lot of you are being recognized. A lot of you are really showing up. You're saying, all right, yes, I'm here. I've arrived. Come on, the party's ready because I'm here, right? And you guys, you are the life of the party. You do bring the party with you, right? But keep going with that energy, okay? This is a momentum you've been building all year long. So don't slow down just because it's like, you spend all like 3 days driving to this destination to be by the ocean. And then when you get there, you stay in the house and never go by the ocean, right? It's like, don't stop just because you got there, right? And then the next card I'm getting is 7 of Fire. Yep. It says awareness, caution, and consequences. So my friend Chris Reck from Minopon Tarot, he calls this card a card of tactics. And I think this picture shows it. Like, the person is waiting till the kid is asleep to go behind and get what they want to get, right? So being tactical. So I think that's the same situation here too. Like, you've arrived, Sagittarius, but now it's almost like you've got to be very thoughtful about how you proceed. So A, you're not stepping on people's toes. B, so that you're not accidentally giving away your power to something. Like, it's like, I feel like there's new dynamics and there's new people around, and I don't want you to get caught up in an energy of people pleasing or wanting to really prove yourself to where you accidentally give away something or agree to something you don't really want to do. Like, it's the whole, like, maybe, you just start a new job and you're eager to show your boss that you're ready to show up. And so you agree to too many projects, right? Take your time, be thoughtful, be tactical about your approach to things. And let's see what your third card is so we can get you a keyword. We have cleanse and detoxify. So this card is showing me more about being tactical. Okay. So I want you to be really thoughtful about how you're spending your time and energy in October, Sagittarius. In fact, what I'd really like to see you do is a lot of time management in October. And I want the time management to apply to all of 2026 too. Like, it's not just October. I want you guys mapping out your time and energy now through next October. Okay. Can you guys do that? Because I think that's the other thing is you show up for everybody, right? This is a card of showing up. And it's like, let me look at the big picture here. Can I really show up for myself and all these other things. So that's a pretty big homework assignment, but I feel like all of us could be doing this right now. So no matter what sign you are listening to this, go ahead and use now to map out the next year. October is a fantastic time to plan trips for next year, plan events, plan your, you can change it. You can reserve the right to change it, but go ahead and look at your hours of the day. Like, how many hours a day do I really want to devote to this thing or to this project or to this thing I want to do? So yeah, lots of planning coming in. So I'm just going to go ahead and make your keyword planning. All right, Sagittarius, your keyword for October is planning. Plan out your entire next year. Whoops, didn't mean to hit the mic there. That way, by the time we get to your birthday season, which will be at the end of next month, you already know what you're doing for your birthday. You already know what you're doing for spring break, for summer. And, you're definitely setting aside that time for yourself, right? You're showing up for others like you always do, but you're making sure you're showing up for yourself first. All right. I love that for Sagittarius. All right. I did a keyword for Scorpios, right? Yeah, I did. Because I also told you guys to go. I used to do keywords all the time. And for whatever reason, my spiritual team is saying, bring that back, Devin. So yeah, we did Sagittarius, we did Scorpio. We're on to, whoops, sorry. I just skipped Cap there. Capricorns. All right. What do we have for you guys? 2 of air. Being unwilling to or unable to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there isn't a problem. Pretending there isn't a problem. Okay, what is this? Capricorns, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I always ask you to think about your health and fitness, your career and finance. If you're retired, that means your legacy, and then your relationships, not just romantic, parent, children, friends, boss, right? Is there a stalemate energy going on for you as we move into the month of October? Are you refusing to face it, or do you feel like you can't because you don't have enough information? And as a Capricorn rising, for me, I had to learn a lot of times when I can't make a decision, it's because I don't have enough information. So that could be the case for you. You just need to do more research. You might need to seek some professional advice. Maybe you need to just try a new approach, but let's get some more clarification here. We have the 5 of Fire card here. All right, so 5 of Fire is conflicts, annoyances, and competition. All right. And so you're probably thinking, well, hang on a minute. I don't know if I like this energy coming in. What this card really is saying, remember that you might have different goals than those around you. And I like the card that is also a card of competition, because the truth of the matter is competition can be very healthy. It can get you to push yourself beyond where you want to go. And what I'm really getting with Capricorns is this unable to make a decision or move out of a stalemate energy is because you're not recognizing that you're good enough to move forward with something. And yes, there might be other people out there doing what you're doing, but they're not doing it the way you're doing it. Okay. So I want you to think about that. Where are you holding yourself back because you don't feel like you're ready? What is the Theodore Roosevelt? It's Theodore Roosevelt who said, comparison is the thief of joy, right? We don't want to be comparing ourselves to others. Don't compare yourself to the competition. Go do it the way you want to do it, Capricorns. And remember, you went through all that Pluto and Capricorn in your sign so that you would start using your intuition first over just the methodology of it, right? So trust that. I get a really good energy off these cards, even though at first glance, it's like, wait a minute, I'm stuck. Wait a minute, there's competition. There is, because you're not owning your own way of doing it. So let's get you some clarification so we can do a keyword for you. Family. All right. Yeah. So, oh, wow. So many messages coming in really fast. This could literally mean within your family, like that. The way you were raised, you want to do something that kind of goes against the grain of that. Like maybe you were raised in like a very traditional religious house, but you're now more on a metaphysical journey, or you're trying new ways of connecting. Maybe you were, your whole family went off and did the traditional formal education, and now you're wanting to do online education and a different way of being taught. I'm also getting for some people, it's actually like family as in the people you surround yourself with work or spiritually. So maybe you're the group of people you work with, you're having to really show the way you do things is different from them. And it's just causing a little bit of like concern, like what are my colleagues going to think of me if I do this or say this? And like I said, it could even be family. Like, what is my family going to think if I say or do this? So there's something that you are going to have to just buck up and deal with. Like, it's like, make a decision, go for it, do it your way. Don't worry about whether you have any competition, and I do feel like, when it comes to family, it's just really about allowing yourself to trust your intuition and being really authentic with your approach to your way of doing things. And I think you're going to find that it's going to be such a relief to get out of this stalemate energy and just go ahead and focus on the things that, I like conflicts and annoyances too, is like, I can see where you're like wanting to do things in a certain order, but you're having to stop and deal with something and then do that and then stop and deal with this and then do that. But it's going to be worth it is what's coming through. So just remember, if like things come up with family that hold you back from getting things done, that's okay. That's okay. That's just a 5 is a transition card. It's moving you on to the 6 of Wands where you're getting that recognition. So let's see. What are we going to call your keyword? Yeah, because it's similar to what one of the other, was it, who else had the needing to make a decision card? Yeah, I feel like your keyword is, I think it's originality. Like, don't be afraid to be different, So we're going to say your keyword is originality, Capricorns. All right. And we're going to move on to Aquas. Hello, Aquas. How's everybody doing? We're going to get to your bonus messages and actions to take here soon. I'm grateful you're all here with me. Thank you so much for your likes and shares. I appreciate it. And hit subscribe if you haven't already. I love having you here. All right, Aquarius. Your first card is the Moon. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that are holding you back. You've been going through huge changes, Aquarius. And I mean, it's been in relationships, a lot of you romantic relationships, but for some of you, it's work relationships, big changes coming through. Remember to check in with your intuition about the stages that you're in with that, because I feel like you're still wanting to be there for others. Your mind and your intellect is so helpful to others that people really rely on you. And so you're feeling this need to keep doing things for other people when really your intuition is saying, I think you're dragging your feet and moving into the direction you really want to go. So I feel like Aquas have known for the past year at least that they wanted to be somewhere else, but you've kind of been dragging your feet and making that change because of the people around you, the people who rely on you, the people who need your insight and your support. All right, so let's keep going to get more guidance here. 9 of Earth is our next card here. 9 of Earth. It says contentment, luxury, and independence. Yeah, see, this is what you want. You want to be out there enjoying life's little luxuries. You want to be out there having that quiet time alone that you treasure so much. So many Aquas I know love their independence, but they also like the luxury of being able to do it their own way, being out in nature, whatever that is. And so you want to keep going in that direction because, like I said, I'm hearing like some of you have still been dragging your feet on making the changes you need to make in order to embrace this energy here. So I say go for it, Aquas. Like, there's no better time like the present. We just got through this amazing eclipse energy here, and I feel like you have this green light to finally just go for it. Go for this life of luxury. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. And the third card we're getting here so we can come up with your keyword is let your past go. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Let your past go because, your energy has gone above that. You've moved on. Been there, done that. You've done everything you can to help those people. You've done everything you can to support them. It's time to embrace where your heart wants to go. Your heart wants to go to this Nine of Earth card, right? Life's luxuries, right? And so I just feel like what you're going to have to do is say, I've learned what I need to learn from this phase of my life. I'm moving on. So your keyword is release. Aquarius, your keyword for October is release. All right. I love that. I hope you will feel that fresh vibe so that when we get to your birthday season in 2026, you're like, yes, I did it. Okay. Pisces. Hello, Pisces. Okay, we're going to get your bonus messages right after the Pisces. Pisces, what are we getting for you for October? Oop, a water card. 6 of water. It says, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. All right. Look, Pisces, I feel this energy is going to be an opportunity for you to really let go of the past as well. We just got that for Aquarius, your neighboring sign. So maybe take a note from the Aquas. But, with all this air energy that we have at the beginning of October, I do feel like you're holding your breath about something, Aquas. I don't know why that came through. It makes me want to take a deep breath, but I feel like you've been holding your breath about something because of something from your past. You haven't really allowed yourself to step into something new. For some of you, it's a new relationship. For some of you, it's a new way of embracing your energy at work or within the family. There's something you're wanting to bring forward, but you've kind of been holding yourself back. And when I, you know what else I just heard for you, Pisces, when I heard holding your breath, is it's also like you're biting your tongue too. You're not saying the thing, right? You're not speaking the thing that you want to speak, right? Now, for some of you, this really is, for some of you, this is a romantic relationship. It could be one you're already in, or it could be a new one where you're just holding yourself back from asking that person out or asking to take it to a new level. But there's something here where because of your past, you're not really embracing the current energy. You're holding your breath. And for some of you, it's like things are really good at work or at home or within a relationship, but you're holding your breath to see if the other shoe drops. Does that make sense? And so you're being asked to release that. All right, let's get some more guidance here and we'll definitely get you a keyword. The dreamer, beginning, believing, and protected. Okay, look at that. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You're on a new journey. You're starting something new. This is totally different. Totally different. It might be the same job. It might be the same people, but there's a new phase. For a lot of you, it's a new person. And we're not holding our breath anymore, Pisces. You can breathe underwater. You've got the fish, right? You guys, you're able to breathe underwater. So whatever is causing you to hold your breath, I want you to think more about the excitement of starting on a new journey. Okay. Let's pull one more card because I think I have your keyword, but yep. Okay. Before I even pulled this card, the keyword I was hearing for Pisces for October is adventure. Okay. And then this is the card I pulled before I even pulled it. Play. Play. Go have fun, Pisces. Get out there, embrace that new energy, go on an adventure. It's what is something you've always wanted to do that you haven't done before? I want you to try to find time to do that in October, or at least make plans to do it, at least research what it would take to do, because it's time for you to go on an adventure. And back when I did the 2025 messages for all 12 signs, when was that? That was almost a year ago. Which I haven't decided if I'm doing 2026 messages this year. Let me know if you guys would like that. The thing is that since I'm always updating these messages, I feel I don't know how helpful that is to you guys. I'm happy to do it though. But Pisces was being constantly encouraged to get out there in a bigger way, try new things, meet new people. And I kept getting that Pisces are going to meet people through people. I know I've mentioned that to you guys before, where it's you go on a work trip and you meet a new colleague, and that colleague introduces you to the person who's going to hire you for your next job, or their sister becomes your wife down the road, that kind of a thing. So adventure is what I'm getting for Pisces. So just remember, if you're holding your breath or you're holding yourself back because of the way things went on in the past, you're being asked to start this new journey. This is the Fool card in tarot, which the Fool, it's like it's the beginning of something new that you've never done before, right? It's foolish because you don't have the knowledge, but the only way to get the knowledge is to go on the adventure and have fun doing it. All right. I love that for Pisces. All right, let's do your bonus messages here. How's everybody doing in the chat? Thank you guys for being patient with me being on early today. I'm about to hop off after this and head out to wish my sister a happy birthday. But I do want to get some actions to take here for October right now. And I always say that, like, when you're hearing these messages or when you're meant to. So since it's not October yet, you can still go ahead and take this guidance now, because I'm going to do present, near future, future, and 2 actions to take so that we can get started. Don't forget to keep an eye on the sky, you guys. I want to hear from you. What are you learning? What are you feeling? What are you discovering? I've been having some really cool experiences during meditation. I myself am just fascinated by the whole thing. I've loved listening to astronomers. I always listen to other astrologers, but I also enjoy listening to astronomers and other scientists out there and just putting it all together. And, you know, it's a great way to just kind of test your own intuition. And remember, one of the big messages, if you came in late, there were a lot of messages for the collective at the beginning of this video where we're talking about listening to our physical body is going to be huge, especially regarding these interstellar objects, these comets, these different things are coming up. I have a really good friend, Tracy, shout out to Tracy in Florida, who we've been messaging back and forth because we get our own downloads outside of what other astrologers and intuitives are getting about this. And it's so fun to compare notes with others about what you're getting. And, you know, it's all about keeping your vibration high and focusing on that and protecting your energy, right? All right, so let's jump into these actions to take, these bonus messages here. All right, for the present energy, either now or the beginning of October, we have the Page of Water, sensitive, open-hearted, and intuitive. Yep, that's what we're being asked to do. Be aware of how sensitive you are. That's actually a superpower if you embrace it. But that's why I was saying, practice that daily cord cutting, practice that daily shielding, do your journaling, have your routine in place to balance your energies. All of us need to do this. The other thing is that open-heartedness there, okay? In order for us to download these major beneficial messages coming through in October, we have to be open. We have to be willing to embrace, be open-hearted to whatever this energy is that's coming in. Now, do listen to your intuition. If it lowers your vibration, if it's scary, if it feels off, no, we are not open-hearted to that. No, we say, no, I do not receive that. And I will sometimes literally hold up a hand and there's nobody in the room. And I'm just like, I do not receive that. No, I'm not. That energy is stopping right there. So shield and protect yourself. But remember, we have to be open-hearted to really embrace some of this coming through. The near future card I'm getting for us is the Queen of Air. Brilliant, experienced, and humorous. Ooh, I just got angel bumps. So basically, what you're going to be looking for is the messages coming through. They're going to be so wise. And this basically, they may be funny. Like, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting so many angel bumps right now. I feel like some of the messages we're going to be downloading are going to be funny in the sense, like humorous, like witty, right? So pay attention to things that are catching your attention that make you laugh or are joyful or have kind of a fun twist on it, right? Like, have you ever found a comedian, like I like one of my favorite right now is Nate Bargatze. There's a lot out there, but that I love, but he's the one that everybody's been watching a lot. And he doesn't curse and he has this like funny take on stuff, but he's not like really negative, you know? It's like just this funny observation. What I'm getting is we're going to be downloading messages from our higher self, from our spiritual team, whatever's coming through with 3i Atlas and these other comments. There may be some funny messages coming through. Like, it's when I say funny, I'm meaning like not silly, corny, that humor, slapstick humor. I'm saying like, wow, like their viewpoint of us humans, that's a good way to look at it. That's pretty funny. And it'll take you out of it because laughing is a high vibration. So why do they say laughter is the best medicine? Definitely pay attention to those things. And if you are feeling like it's hard to be open-hearted, go watch something funny. Go do something that makes you laugh. Go play with your animals. Do things that make you feel good, right? I love watching all those sweet animal videos out there, right? That just make you feel joyful. All right, we'll do your future card, and then we'll have 2 actions to take. Hey, Truth or Fears, good to see you in there. Hello, Sharon. So glad you're here. Yes. Oh, I didn't see Megan too. Good morning, Megan. Good morning, Anne. Thank you guys for being here, even though it's earlier than usual. Although now I'm past the mark, but I got to hop off here in a minute to head out. So our future card, another queen of earth. I'm getting more angel bumps here. If we stay open-hearted, we're going to start getting so much information. It's going to be witty. It's going to be humorous. It's going to be wise. And then we're going to be bringing this down to earth, and we're going to be able to use this information the way this Queen of Earth would use it, which is gracious, practical, and capable. Okay? You're going to realize that you have powers you didn't know you had. I'm getting so excited sharing this with you guys, but that's the thing. We've got to stay open-hearted. We've got to be willing to download this information and use it and trust in our ability and that we are capable of this connection. You're capable of using your superpowers, your natural born intuitive abilities, and connecting with your spiritual team. So let's get 2 actions to take. All right, we got the 5 of water. It says disappointment, regret, forgiveness. Now, this is an action card, so you don't have to worry about that. The action card is literally saying to yourself, what's the silver lining? What can I learn from this? How can I let go of something that I can't undo, right? So this is literally like you can't unspill the milk. So what's the action to take here? Recognize the things you can't undo, but learn what you can from them, right? So your action right now is to say, all right, that happened. What did I learn from it so that going forward, this doesn't happen again? All right. So a lot of us saw a lot of endings come through with the eclipse season. If you haven't seen them, you at least had some kind of aha moment where you were like, I don't know if I vibe with that anymore. But on a wide world stage, a lot of us saw some big things happening. So we can't unsee those things. We can't unhear those things. We can't undo those things, but we can notice how it felt, how others responded, and how we want to respond going forward. And I think that's a big key there is, how do you want to affect the energy and respond? You can either sit there and cry over it, or you can say, that happened, now I'm going to go higher and I'm going to focus on the things that bring me joy, right? So basically, you're being asked to forgive these disappointments and try to move on and focus on the things that you can do something about instead of focusing on the things we can't change. So that's a huge action card coming in. I think it's going to really help with your vibration. And then we have the 2 of fire, planning, partnering, and progress. Yep. So look at that. They're basically saying, all right, I know these things happened that we didn't like. We did not like these things. But what do you do about it? Start focusing on the future. Okay? Collaborate with others. Collaborate with your spiritual team. Remember, your team wants to work with you. They're partners with you. They're your spiritual partners. Do the things that are going to help you move forward, right? Remember my story I've shared with many of you. Many of you are new, I know, and thank you. Very welcome to the channel. But the moment I had that clarification sitting in my backyard where I literally saw a yellow butterfly chasing a cardinal. I'm shortening the story, but I heard in my mind when I saw that, I was like, why was a butterfly chasing a cardinal? And my higher self and my spiritual team said, because transformation follows creativity, right? Cardinal represents creativity for me. Butterfly represents transformation for me. They may mean something different for you. I teach a whole class on signs and symbols. By the way, you can get my free book, Is It a Sign, if you sign up for my newsletter at devintour.com. But look, Go focus on being creative. All right. That's going to transform you out of this spilled milk energy and into progress and just beautiful creativity. So I know that's easier said than done for all of us, especially with the big changes we've done, but that's why we're here together. That's why I love connecting with all of you. That's why I love sharing these messages. I want to hear how you're doing. I want to hear what you think about all these cosmic visitors in the sky. I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you all for being here and have a fantastic October. Bye, everybody.